Hi, bonjour. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. You just did an awesome performance. And English is not my first language, so I'm going to do my best here. So tell me, why did you accept to do this activity today for TRAS?
Well, she been Natalie.
We have a good friend,
Yeah,
Natalie.
yeah,
Yes.
Natalie's been trying to get us involved for a long time.
Yeah.
So this is was the perfect timing. So we're around, so we wanted to do it.
Yeah, awesome. Were you shy?
Um, it's been a while since I've been in front of the camera. I'm usually the one behind. It was a really good experience. Growing up, I grew up on the POW trail with my parents, and I'd taken a little break because I was doing my academic studies. And so it was really nice to get back to it again, especially with COVID and coming out of it. And so
See people and feel people. Well, I'll speak for myself. I had few tears in my eyes. It was very touching for me, especially the drum at first. I had goosebumps all over my body. How do you react when people are touched like that or crying? How do you feel? How does it land for you?
For me, it's part of my job.
Oh,
Part of my job. I get asked to sing a lot, to come, especially at funerals.
Oh.
Yeah, so I see a lot of that. And so
weddings too.
weddings.
We're wedding singers too.
Yeah,
Wedding singers.
We're pretty much birthdays and round dances and just anybody who wants. We're always on call. Like I'm always on call. That's my job. I've come to realization that is my job.
Your job or your calling?
Well, it's a job too because it takes effort. You know, it takes effort and like I have to support myself sometimes. You know?
Oh, tell me about it. How do you prepare for this kind of performance?
Well, over the years, you do so many, and you start to get used to it.
Yeah.
You just have a kind of like a set pattern that you follow.
Like a ritual for yourself to take care of yourself
yeah,
first?
Yeah. You just try to keep it within my means. Where
Yeah.
I try to keep it simple.
Yeah.
And it depends on what people want. Like if they want for educational purpose, then I have to really like be exact of what I learned and try to relate that to people. It depends on what age they are too, like, because you have to explain kid age, and the adults are listening, the elders are listening, so they're you have to say it right.
That's cute.
They let it, you know. They don't get mad at you. They just kind of like they don't say anything. They just that's basically it.
There's always something new to learn in this too, as well. Like we've been doing this quite many years, and there's always something new to learn. There's new people to meet, and we just recently lost an elder friend of ours, and we were fortunate to meet him and other people like him, and it's just lifelong learning, right? And this is second nature, like to us, because we choose to live this way.
That's why we sang that song at the beginning, was because I remember I'm singing lately about things that I remember people that passed on, and I'm trying to relive that moment, you know, like with that song. I heard him singing about. I used to sing it when I was a kid, that song, but I heard him singing it, so I wanted to just think about him as I'm singing it. So that was really how I approach things.
And we don't understand the words per se, but it's very touching. It touched the heart. Everybody is very with you and in tune when we hear you. So thank you for that. There's a magic going on anyway.
Yeah.
The songs we sang today don't have the words, but it's like Dave talked about earlier.
Oh,
the
sorry.
accent of the song. I was say that it's more of a chant kind of accent singing, and it's singing is really like a spiritual communication, right? So it's a sound of the spirits.
It's a language in itself.
Yeah.
The songs are a language in itself. So you know, and they don't have to have words, but there's a language there
Yeah.
that's pertaining to something, you know.
Totally. We feel it for sure. Yeah.
I think there's an importance too that I think we've touched upon, and that's good intention and that sense of connection. And I think that really emanates when you're hearing, and sound is very healing and it's very moving, and when done in such a good way, it's amazing, beautiful things happen, and we're happy that you felt that.
Really. And
I have a question
Yeah.
for you. In the light of what Robin was sharing, that you were born around the Powwow Trail with your family and strong ties. You also mentioned, Robin, that I felt a really sense of relief that your daughter will not have to go through the same turmoil as you did as a teenager, and you, Dave. And so for you, Faith, what is it that you would say for the youth, like for their upbringing, to encourage them to go the route of relearning and appropriating your own culture? Do you have anything to say?
Wow.
What a beautiful question. Follow that feeling. Follow that genuine feeling that you feel within, and that, you know, if you feel a calling to want to connect with your ancestors and your community, you know, there are some people where it's not so much about reconnecting, but it's about connecting in the first place, and that's a beautiful thing done in a genuine way. And I think that's something, looking back, that definitely played a huge role. That played a huge role in my upbringing. That played a huge role into contributing to my studies and reflecting back on the genuine hard work that my parents did and my grandparents have done. And I take a lot of honor in that, and I take a lot of pride in that. And I've always held my head up high, especially in institutions, educational institutions, where when going in there, the spaces aren't always so friendly. When you're coming from a reserve, and segregation is very much a reality, and still is a very much a reality for us. And we have these other things, right, that are at play, but that feeling, getting back to the core of that feeling and that movement, and how sound is healing, how that sense of language and connection, and that's something I always hold in my heart and close to my heart. And whenever when I was away and I was writing my papers in the library, I had recordings of my parents singing at a powwow and their round dance songs, and so that helped me get through. Whitetail Cree albums helped me get through, and listening to them sing at recordings at powwows, and they did a lot for me. So I'm very grateful. I'm super grateful they allowed me to be in their lives. Real love.
How old are you?
I am 31.
Oh, you're beautiful and very wise. Well, do we still have time, Claude?
It's up to you.
What would be your last word, a message for the country and the world? Because you're live now on social media. I think Canadians and the world need your wisdom right now. And the healing, we really need all this. So what would be your word for the world and the Canadians?
Love yourself.
Oh.
Be kind to yourself. And we as a people, as a collective, right, of North America, have gone through a lot. And our ancestors have been through a lot. And so loving ourselves is really, really important, right? And doing things with that good intention, in a good way, and in a genuine way. And that goes a long way. That does. It really does.
And to stay positive, and keep good intention in mind in what you do, how you choose to do things, and amidst all of the hardships that are in the world right now, we're bombarded with seeing war and you know, with the disease that we just got out and we're coming out of now, and it's hard to live in those times. But when you find your way to strengthen your heart, strengthen the love that you naturally have, and find find ways to share that with other people, to stay strong and positive, and keep learning about how to follow your heart and do things that you feel you need to do. I think it'll get through.
We, our elders talked about these times, and for many years as a kid, I heard a lot of these elders talk about this, and even in different religions, they talk about the same thing. And unfortunately, we're living in those times now, and what the elders are saying is that we need to get back to ceremony, whether it's going to church or praying, those kinds of things. We need to focus on ourselves, like connect with the spirituality, and we need to. That's pretty much all we're going to have. I mean, that's all we have. We can have all the money in the world, but how long we're all going to eventually end up somewhere. So, but that's what I believe. So that's what I was told. And, that's what I tend to believe. But it's really hard to actually follow something like that. It's easy to talk about it, but to actually do it, it's a very because you have to make time. You have to create time and put those things together. It's so that's my message.
It's beautiful.
I also have to say that once the pandemic was at its peak and we saw people really struggling mentally and spiritually, I also had a few moments where the only thing I could do is recall what makes me strong. And the first time I met you, I mean, you were so tiny. You weren't born when I met your parents. So I was dancing through the circle of the powwow grounds, and then somebody said to me, "The joy that you feel, bring it to that circle." And then you were drumming and you were singing, and I could hear your sound. Your voice was like an eagle, and I felt like I could soar. So when the pandemic hit, I was in a very challenging place, like most of us. But then I thought about you guys. Like, time stopped, right?
Yeah.
And it reached to what you said, take the time. So I thought, what would bring me peace and happiness? So I went online and I followed your singing. And often you would take the drum with Robin and sing and introduce the song and why you're doing it. So for that, I want to also thank you, because today, to open this day of, bridging the philosophy of the event, what we do with our lives, and to say, you know what, we could be contemporary. We'll use those tools to bring your voice out there and to connect with the hearts and to continue to be positive, to self-love and to honor our ancestors. It's just an emergency, but we have to do it cautiously so we don't fall, So thank you for standing strong and for being an example to us and opening your heart.
And stepping back on this, if we want to follow you or listen to your music and all your wisdom, is there somewhere online we can look at you?
Yes, it's just Dave Hookiwaw, Hookiwaw at hotmail.com. I got connection. We have a new CD coming out.
Oh.
It's going to be just a pandemic CD. It's just a small guys, a small group of us that want to get together and share our songs, because we have a bunch of songs we wanted to put together, and it's going to be out shortly. So that's how you can reach me on Facebook.
Yeah.
Dave Hook on Facebook, Instagram.
Wow,
Dave
look at
Hook.
you.
I don't even know what Instagram is. I just started
That's so
following.
cute.
It's just another site of Facebook. So it's pretty much that's basically for me anyway.
Awesome.
Yeah, we also have I have a website. It's www.sagasige.com. So it's spelled like SAGASIGE. .com, and we'll be adding a page shortly for Dave to access Dave for his workshops.
awesome.
And,
We will add these address in the comment or on the web page just to make sure people can visit them. From all my heart, you were the first performance today. I want to thank you. You set the tone for the day, and our hearts are all open now for the rest of the day. So thank you for your wisdom and your presence. Good.
Good, thanks a lot for that.
And don't move.